Tonight on Unsolved Mysteries Rewind, two friends get together to discuss episodes of their favorite television show, Unsolved Mysteries. Will they find answers? Will anyone care? You may be able to solve a mystery.
This is Mark, and you're listening to Unsolved Mysteries Rewind. I have on today someone who was on my other podcast. Were you ever on the VHS podcast?
No, I was on Little House and also the Waltons.
Oh, okay. I'm surprised because you and I definitely have spoken about the old retro shows. So
we have someday.
But your name is Suzanne. And
yes.
You've been kind enough to come on to these podcasts I've done over the years. And I think we have a lot of fun when we chat. So
I think so, too.
So let's stop having fun and we'll discuss the possible murder or kidnapping of someone.
Okay.
It's the fun of it all.
Right.
Not fun, but you know.
No.
I like to say over and over again that if I don't laugh, I'll cry when it comes to some of these cases.
You have to have that gallows humor.
Yeah, you have to. So one thing that I find really surprising is that I was not aware that you were a fan of true crime.
It's actually since I was a little kid, like 7 and 8 is when I got started.
Now, did you watch Unsolved Mysteries when you were younger, like me?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I watched the premiere with my mother in a hotel room in Colorado.
Get out of town, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I came to it a bit later, but wow, that's pretty awesome. But
yeah, I think it was 1989 or something.
I'm not sure. I don't even know.
There had been the Carl Malden episodes, and she had watched those, and she says, "Oh, it's a series now. We're going to watch it." Okay.
You're like, okay, Mom.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So let's see. We're talking about Amy Lynn Bradley and her disappearance. There's a Netflix 3-part thing. Did you happen to see that?
I was hoping to watch it before we recorded this, but I did not get around to it.
I recommend it in the future, but it's a little bit slow.
You know, when they drag it out for multiple episodes, it is.
Yeah.
Everything's a series now. With
Netflix, and I hate to say it, they really drag things out with their drone shots and recaps and on and on and on and on. With this particular, I hate to say it, I think it's 3 parts. I watched just the last part, and it just basically summed it all up into like a 1-hour thing.
Yes, I think that's good. Stop.
But is that your cat?
Yeah, he's on his wheel.
It's like, I want ham.
Yes.
I heard there was ham.
Exactly. And I think it almost reminds me of watching a Ken Burns documentary because they don't have many images and they tend to not have film images. They drag it out by moving the pictures around and,
You know what? I used to have a lot more patience for this stuff. And
yes.
My old age, I don't got no mo. I don't have that patience. But let's see. So, Amy Lynn Bradley ends up being about my age, which it's always weird when there's a case that involves somebody about your age. And so this goes back to 1998, and Amy Lynn Bradley at the time was about 23 years old. Oh wait, no, that doesn't equate, because that would mean she would be. Maybe the math is right. Because I know in the year 2000, my whole life, I'm like, I'm going to be 27 in the year 2000. And if she's 23 when this happened, she wouldn't. And she was a year, I guess maybe because she was a year younger. Maybe it's right. So
she was young.
She recently graduated. I don't know which school, but somewhere in Virginia, maybe Virginia Tech.
I think so.
Mm-hmm. And she had a degree in physical education and sports psychology. And she went on a cruise with her family. I mean, I think it's...
Why not?
Have you ever been on a cruise?
No, I have no desire.
Oh, really? So you're like kind of like Amy Lynn Bradley.
Well, I'm afraid of deep water.
Wow.
And I don't know, I burn easily, and I think I would get bored unless it was like a themed cruise, like the TCM cruise or something. But then again, can't you just sit at home and watch movies? I don't know. Yeah, I'll never be on a cruise, probably.
I've never been on a cruise, but we were just talking about it, and I'm like, maybe we'll do a cruise. I just like, I'm a terrible swimmer, like I'm good at basically drowning, probably.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I see things like a cruise ship, it kind of boggles my mind about it. It's kind of like when you're sitting on a really big, like a 747 or something.
Yeah.
And you start thinking about like, how much does this thing weigh? And we're like, how many tens of thousands of feet in the air? It just doesn't work in my head.
Yeah. And this portion of the ocean is about 6 miles deep.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Luckily, you wouldn't make it. Yeah. Or you wouldn't remember. You wouldn't be conscious by making it. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. It can be very scary. But people seem to love it. And I'm thinking that pretty sure her brother had been on a cruise before, her parents maybe before, but they were going to go to the Caribbean, however you say it. And
wasn't it didn't they get it from her dad's work?
Oh, right. So he was given the cruise.
It was a reward for a bonus of some kind, I think.
I kind of forgot about that. That's kind of crazy if you think about it.
Yeah.
You imagine the guilt of like giving something like that to an employee only to have this terrible thing happen.
That would be. I would feel guilt over that.
I would. I feel guilt over everything. I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
But we do learn Amy was a strong swimmer. Obviously, she did have a degree in physical education, but she really didn't like heights. We learn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was said somewhere she didn't like the ocean. Like she didn't like, similar to what you were saying.
Right.
But she was, an excellent swimmer. She was a lifeguard. She was really tall. So this is not going to be the nicest thing to say about her. So get ready.
That's fine.
Everyone who talked about her would say she couldn't go anywhere without getting hit on. And she's a beautiful woman. When she came on, everybody wanted to be with her. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, I don't get it. I don't see it.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, just being honest. Just
maybe she was reaching out to others, and that's what people were sensing.
And then I was thinking it could have a lot to do with personality, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Maybe she was just like, maybe she had this aura about herself that is not caught in photographs. I just didn't get it. It seemed kind of weird. Like throughout this story, we'll learn that she had the attention of the bassist of the cruise ship band. I'm thinking that the people who work on cruises, I don't know if it's, you would think that it's a common occurrence for them to kind of hit on the guests, right?
Right.
But I wonder if it's discouraged.
I would think so, because it's not going to lead to anything good.
No. I guess if that's what, both parties are looking for, for like just a hookup, then that's, fine. But if something goes wrong, and in this case, it goes really wrong. In the documentary, actually, I guess we'll get to it a little bit. They actually track down the guy and talk about him now, and how his daughter kind of came forward with how she feels as though he's guilty. It's a really crazy thing.
Can you imagine what it would be like to have someone say you were guilty of something, like a personal friend or relative, and that just out of nowhere say you were guilty of something? Oh yeah, he ran over that little girl and left. I was, I know he did it. Like, oh my God.
It's like you weren't even in the same state. Yeah, but I know you did.
Exactly.
It's like,
I see it in his eyes.
Right. All of a sudden it's like a Little House on the Prairie type of thing, and they're burning a witch in the middle of town.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go on the cruise March 21st, 1998. And they board the ship from Puerto Rico. Amy sends home postcards, and she's kind of excited about the trip. She, I don't know, they really do push on her her lesbianism in the documentary, and I mean, it's something that's totally irrelevant in my opinion. But
yeah, why add it?
And I think they also wanted to make it seem like she wouldn't have hooked up with the bassist because she wasn't into guys. But I don't know. I mean, who knows what somebody's kind of going through at the moment.
I think a lot of younger people, like they're maybe struggling a little bit or want the best of both worlds, or, you know, just don't feel the need to choose at that point. And so they might be out there experimenting. So I don't think it's relevant. It doesn't mean much.
Yeah. I don't, she's probably, you know, drinking quite a bit. This is what a lot of people do on a cruise, which is another thing that I kind of would discourage me personally from going on a cruise. Cause I personally, I can't really drink. I'm just not a good drinker. I'm not good at it. And
sure.
I don't like being surrounded by people who are wasted. It really bothers me. I don't think there's anybody out there who's like, yeah, you know, I love being around drunk people, but
nobody.
So let's see, the 21st, yeah, they board. The 23rd, they sail towards Carousel. Is that the pronunciation?
I couldn't figure out how to pronounce it.
I think that's
Carousel, or
I think it's Carousel. I always thought of it as a carousel. So Carousel. I'm going to say that. Closer. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
I think people will understand.
The family goes to dinner and entertainment, and Amy, her brother Brad is there. Brad had been, he'd gone to one cruise prior, and he's kind of partying with her. I think he might be a year or two younger. And
he's lived a lot. He seems like he's lived a bit of a hard life in that time.
Really? You think that?
Yeah, I think he looks like he does some stuff on his spare time.
Really? All right. They both seem like partiers, in my opinion.
Oh, wait. That's the reenactor actor.
Oh no.
What am I? Okay. Forget I said that. I can't judge him based on who's reenacting him.
I gotta say, Brad, when the documentary was released about a year ago, I want to say, maybe it was more, he kind of started doing the circuit, you know, where he would talk about the case and stuff.
Sure.
And he looks pretty good. Like, you know, his hair went pure white. And I think some people can pull it off, like a Steve Martin or something. I think all in all, he looks good for his age. But of course he's still devastated about it, and there's no answers.
It's going to stay with you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so what had happened is, they go to Mardi Gras night. Amy's dancing. She's having drinks with the band, and she kind of meets up. It's getting late too. It's around like 1 a.m, and she's dancing with guy's name is, I think, Alistair Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought that was a president. I'm just kidding.
It's a great name.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? And they kind of, you know, they're dancing, and they're kind of being very close when they're dancing, is the way it was described. He's the bass player for the band Blue Orchid. But they part ways around 1 o'clock. A witness claims to have seen them leave together.
Mm-hmm.
And more recently, there's video footage of them dancing, which I don't know what that proves. But apparently they had somebody on the floor filming like a promo tape and caught them while dancing.
Now that's just a little too much of a coincidence. Not that they were dancing, but somebody's filming them.
It's true.
It's okay. If, you know, because some people think, you know, she was stolen for human trafficking or something like that. I could see sending footage to somebody higher up on the food chain saying, hey, how about this one? But just, I don't understand why they're being filmed. The lighting isn't going to be right. I don't know. I
think it's odd, but it's funny you mentioned the lighting. It's like you can't see anything in the footage. Right. It's all blue, and it's like it's really awful. It's also 1998, so there's no texting it to somebody. There's no like, you know, let me share this video with you. So on one hand, I'm like, well, maybe they did show this to someone, but then on the other hand, to fished through all of that footage just to show this person. And I guess I don't see it with her. Like, this is the person that you're going to risk your life for.
Right.
It's me being a little mean, but I'm also kind of like, I don't see it. So let's see. Early on March 24th, around 3:30 in the morning, Brad returns to the cabin. Then, like 5 minutes later, Amy pops in. They're sitting. They have the balcony. They went and they spent the extra like X amount of dollars, and they're on the balcony. And Brad falls asleep. Around 5 in the morning, the dad wakes up. They're all staying in the same room, which is totally common, especially if you don't want to spend like literally 3 times of what you're already spending. So the dad wakes up. It's weird. In the reenactment, the wife is nowhere to be seen when it comes to the bedroom. So maybe she's just a sound sleeper, and they're like, all right, we're just not even going to like acknowledge her. But Ron wakes up around 5:15. He peeks like out the balcony window, like the sliding door, and sees Amy's legs. So he's like, oh, okay, so she's there. And he just kind of goes back to sleep, But something wakes him up around 6. So about a half hour later. And he wakes up. He sees that Amy is now not where she just was. And she had grabbed her cigarettes and a lighter. Shoes and ID were left behind. And no note. So that's kind of weird. He also said that the sliding door was about 18 inches open. So I'm just kind of wondering, all right, so what could have happened where she's just going to go, wake up out of nowhere and run? I mean, probably there could be a chance. I was just about to say there could be a chance of a cell phone, but probably not, because you would need, there's no cell phone service in the middle of the ocean.
There can be. Not in 98, I bet there's not.
Yeah, I think it's all analog and stuff. I didn't get a cell phone until like 99.
Yeah, I really do think it would be rare for that time period.
So it's not like she got like a text and it's like, all right,
right,
meet me at the elevator or something. It's possible she just kind of woke up out of nowhere and just like, I'm going to leave without my ID or anything.
Yeah. And what did she wear? Did she change her clothes?
I don't think so. She didn't even take shoes. So it's kind of...
That's so strange to me. And I also think it's bizarre that, it's only open 18 inches. That doesn't seem like very much, whether she's coming through herself or someone's pulling her through, which seems super unlikely.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What I'm thinking is maybe, it's possible she was going to meet up with somebody and she came back, closed her eyes for 2 seconds and fell asleep.
Right.
Because, she maybe had a few drinks and she's just, and then just woke up out of nowhere and it's like, oh, I'm going to go see if that guy's still around, and just kind of runs out. It's weird. It's hasty. It's a strange one.
And barefoot. I can't think of any scenario where that makes sense, because, when you're in a hotel room, you think about, oh my God, 3 million people have had their feet on this carpet. And,
that's what I'm thinking. And it's like, if I do go on a cruise, I'm probably going to bring like something for the shower and stuff.
Exactly.
I don't want to deal with all that. So the family wakes up relatively early, because Ron wakes up at 6 and is like, where the hell is she? So it's weird to me. So he sees she's missing. So he starts like searching for her immediately. So it's just weird to me. Like, you were there for a minute and now you're gone. Maybe
why'd that raise a red flag to him?
Like why? Like, why all of a sudden are you freaking out?
I'm a little confused. Did they have the parents' room and then the kids' room and then...
No, I think they all stayed in the same room.
Well, where's the mom and the brother?
Well, the brother, I think, was also sleeping out on the balcony. It's possible they had a separate room.
Yeah.
And they
Could
just
be
didn't use
a
it?
suite.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. But if you look at a cruise, I'm going to look right now. Like, how many people sleep to a, let's see, do you know what line it was? Was it Royal Caribbean?
It was Royal Caribbean, yes.
All right. Oh, here we go. How many in a
Crescendo of the Seas.
It says two to four guests. So what they would have is a king bed and a sofa bed with a pulled down berths, which that like one of those Cooper things.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's designed for two, but you could squeeze in four and even up to six in special family style balcony cabins. But a standard balcony, currently 2 to 4 people. So yeah, I mean, if you squeeze in there and you're only going to use the room for, showers and changing, and if something else comes, you leave, a tie on the doorknob, I guess. Don't come in, Mom. So let's see, where are we with all of this? So Ron's like, all right, what's going on? So he's going around. He alerts some of the crew in the morning. It's March 24th. He even requests that they hold the passengers because they're coming in at, I think, about 8:00 to disembark and to go into town, which I think is still also kind of early. I don't know. Again, I'm not a cruise person, but he wanted to know. It
does seem early.
He wanted to know if they could hold, thing. And I'm just, even though like the outcome ends up being like a mystery, I can't imagine them wanting to, or feeling like we're not going to hold everyone on the ship until you find your daughter. There's 1,000 rooms. So it's kind of bananas to think that, I think.
Right.
The ship did not want to make an announcement, which I thought was actually asinine. They said that they didn't want to make it seem as though there was something wrong. Like they didn't want to disrupt people.
I actually kind of understand it. I don't necessarily think they should. I think they should have made an exception in this case. But I mean, even at the library that I work at, we're very strict on whether we'll make a PA announcement, because we have like probably 10, 15 people calling a day wanting us to make a PA announcement. Oh, where's my friend?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good point. I mean, but this is the size of a small town. So
5,000 people.
And it is early. So, I mean, I'm looking at it from both sides too. It's kind of like, well, we can't make an announcement for everyone.
Right.
But it's also possible that they would make, in my opinion, they would probably make an announcement saying, we're now bordering, we're now going to disembark, make sure you're back here at a certain time and all that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, they could throw in, by the way, Amy Bradley, if you can hear this, please, your parents are looking for you.
Right.
I don't see how that could hurt, but they didn't want to do that for whatever reason. So they get off. Everybody gets off, I think. And the Dutch Coast Guard starts gets alerted by all of this. And we have the Royal Caribbean and we have the Dutch Coast Guard searching with helicopters and radar. And there's no trace over March 24th to 27th. There's a lot of scammers who are just totally bullshitting them.
Yeah. And that's really sad.
Yeah. The cab driver's I saw a frantic woman. She came up to me, asking for a phone, and it's probably $50. I'll show you where it is. That type of behavior was kind of going on. A Canadian driver in Carousel Beach states that saw a woman with the matching tattoos with men who were being rough with her. It's just, there's a lot of just kind of weird stuff going on. And I know I keep on saying, well, it couldn't have been this, and it couldn't have been that. And the thing that's crazy is at the end of the day is we don't know what happened to her either. So all this stuff could be true.
Yeah, it could be a total mixture.
I mean, at this point, what do you think happened?
I think she went out from the balcony. I think maybe she rolled out because of sleeping or something, or she reached for something, or she was waving or something, or she was drunk and something related to that.
You think she fell over?
I think she fell I think it was an accident where she went over the balcony. Because I don't see a way you get her out of that room by force. And I think it is by force, because it would be by force because just the lack of shoes and what she was wearing and everything. And I don't see them getting her out of there past Dad. I don't think they'd even try.
I mean, one of the things I think is kind of weird is they do go, well, her cigarettes and lighter are missing. It's like, well, she'd probably be on the balcony smoking. I would hope she'd be considerate enough.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, she would have them with her out there, right? And hypothetically, let's say, because they're like, oh, she would never even look over the railing. And alcohol does a lot of things to people, and they give a bit of courage. And she might have been like just screwing around. The next thing you know,
exactly.
Like you said, fall over. Now, I don't know where their room was. I don't know if it's, you see these, some of the rooms, the higher up ones, you would just fall onto probably the thing below.
But I think I think you could get battered on the way down and actually make it over like a deck down there. I think if she was taken for human trafficking or something like that, I think they would have found her body by now. It would have turned up like some type of Jane Doe. I'm sure they watch things like that when people go missing in an area. And it doesn't sound like there's been anybody that would resemble her. At some point they have to get rid of her, but I don't know. I don't think she went off and made a new life or anything. And I don't know if I don't know if they looked at the family. It doesn't sound especially likely to me, but
one thing I'm not really sure about is where was the brother? Was he still on the balcony? That I'm not really sure.
I don't know. Unsolved Mysteries did not portray him as being on the balcony, but that doesn't mean he wasn't.
We know that he spoke to her on the balcony at like 3:35, 3:40 in the morning. And so he would have been the last person to have seen her. So, I mean, yeah, like I wonder, did they look into, I hate to point my finger at the guy, but did they look into Brad?
Right. I don't, I always worry when young people drink to excess, not because I have a problem or anything against it. It's just you lose control of your faculties and you become vulnerable to bad actors in the world. And that's the thing I worry about with, drinking by, in the early 20s or late teens.
Yeah, it's kind of like they're trying to like prove something or
exactly
like something like that. And not realizing it's really, like you said, it's putting them into a vulnerable state. And it could just be extremely dangerous.
It can.
So passengers also came forward when they learned that she was missing, saying that early in the morning, like 3:30, 3:45, before she returned to the room, they're claiming actually this would be after she returned to the room, so she would have left. 3 passengers said they saw Amy with the bass player in an upper deck elevator. And he was handing her a dark liquid drink, or I don't know what other kind of drink you have. The most are liquid.
Yeah.
And then he leaves alone at 6 a.m. I'm not really sure why these 3 people would remember her, because I'm just saying, like, it's like I went to the supermarket yesterday. I'm not going to remember a particular person I saw.
Right.
I just
unless they were the star of some kind of incident, I don't think anybody would.
Yeah, and Amy just kind of looked to me and be a little bit normal. She's kind of just a face in a crowd. I mean, I just don't see any reason why I would remember her. I'm sorry.
Right.
Like, I'm apologizing for how normal she looks and how I don't get it.
What do you lean toward?
I'm not sure. This is one of those ones where I'm like, geez, I think it's possible that she went to hook up with the bassist, and maybe things got out of hand. I think that she did leave the room, and maybe she realized, like, I'm really not into guys, and he went to stop it. And maybe the guy got a little just too rough with her, and things just got out of hand.
Yeah.
And he threw her overboard. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. I think it's a big mystery. I feel like all I can do is say that I think that the things that they've come up with seem a bit extreme. Like saying that she left and that they're holding her and she's now this special prostitute, and she's photographs of her have popped up apparently on escort sites. Like I've looked at these pictures. I don't see it. I don't think that's her.
Right. Another thing is she's a little old to be trafficked, isn't she?
23. Yeah, I would imagine.
I mean, I don't know anything about human trafficking really. So what you hear about are younger girls, teenagers, and you don't hear too much about older, over 20, but I don't really know enough about it to say.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, if we're going to go to like an Epstein level type of trafficking situation, their eyes are on the 15, 16-year-olds, which is, of course, horrifying, but at the same time, I'm just not really seeing it. It doesn't really kind of check the box of, mid-20s American girl who could very likely fight back a little bit.
Yes. I mean, being athletic, she could rough them up.
She's also no dummy. She's college educated. She knows how to contact like an embassy, or it's just kind of odd. The whole thing is very strange to me, but I think it's very possible that she went with him. Things kind of got out of hand and something happened. I mean, they were coming up with scenarios that she was being held in a room and drugged, and they were going to like somehow get her off the boat. Like, how does that work?
I don't know. It sounds like a big hassle.
I feel like, if you see the movie Titanic, you see all those guys in like the steam room.
Right.
They might have been able to do something like that.
Yeah. It just seems like taking an American woman off of a cruise ship is a lot of trouble, and you could get caught.
Yeah, easily. And you're being watched. I mean, it's not like you're not.
There's cameras everywhere, and
I feel like it's way too risky. But there are a few things when they're doing the search. The bassist, kind of comes up to the brother and says, "Hey, I'm sorry she didn't show up." I'm saying to Brad, and and that she's missing. And Brad's like, "I think that was very strange because the only people that knew were us and security." And I'm thinking, I don't believe that for a second. If somebody is missing, you alert the staff.
That gets out. You would totally alert the staff. And also, who's saying he doesn't work both security and the guitar? Lots of people do double duty there.
But hey, there's somebody missing. Did you see this person? I mean, if anything, that's exactly what they would do. They would probably call some type of, I would imagine that they have like meetings before every shift. And they're like, "Hey, keep a lookout for this girl because she's missing." And for him to think that that's weird, he keeps doubling down on that. And that made me think, like, is Brad trying to cover up something? I don't know.
Right.
It's a very, but what else happens? We have a lot of scammers. I mean, they throw, between 1999 and 2002, they're working with some guy named Frank Jones who claims to be a mercenary. And
good God.
Right. And they throw over $200,000 in all of this stuff. This guy supplied photos of this blonde guy in a ponytail on a beach with her. And it's revealed that he hired these people and put a fake tattoo on the girl. And it's, I get it's really sad because these parents really want her back.
It is very sad.
But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, how do you fall for it that easily? I'm not even going to say in retrospect, there has to be some point where you're like, this person's bringing nothing to the table. Why am I continuously giving him, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000? It just doesn't make a lot of sense. But we learned that he is scamming them, and he actually serves prison time for this, which Good. I don't know how. I don't
know.
Yeah, I guess maybe the Carousel police got involved.
Maybe so. I also think it's to me, like the fact that her body never turned up in the, maybe the first 5 to 10 years in that kind of window, I don't think that makes me lean more toward her just going over the railing.
Now, it's such a mystery that it does remind me a little bit of kind of what's going on right now with Nancy Guthrie.
Yes, that's a weird one.
Oh, I think that's such a sad situation. 84 years old is not the way that person, you shouldn't be going out that way. And we don't even know. I guess we can presume she's dead.
I think so. It has to have a really sinister motive, because why would you take, if you kidnapped an old woman, you don't want to hang on to her. They've offered you your money. Why don't you take it? It was, if it's not for the money, what's it for?
I don't even want to shop in a store with old people.
Yeah.
But one day, to not even find the body, I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's bad policing. Maybe they just, I don't know. The Nancy Guthrie thing.
I think it'll turn up. I really do.
You do?
Yeah.
I hope so, because it just seems banana. Like the whole case seems so backwards to me.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people out there continuously researching it.
And they talked about Savannah's brother-in-law a lot at first, and I don't know
Tommaso.
I don't know what he did to throw scrutiny on him, but they kind of stopped talking about that. So,
well, I actually have been following that case really closely.
Have you?
Tommaso. So the story's changed a little bit since day one, but from what I understand, Tommaso was the last person to see her.
Mm-hmm.
Tommaso brought her home at 10 p.m. She got out of the car, went into the house, and then he left. And that was it. But for whatever reason, Tommaso's, I've yet to hear what his voice sounds like. I've not heard any reason, like what did you do? You dropped off, then you went straight home? This story has never been refined, not publicly anyway. And who am I? That's another thing. It's kind of like, well, who do I think I am to know the details of that case? And that's fair, But it's to me, he even looks a little bit like the person who this photo would be revealed to be. And I just think everybody should be under a magnifying glass. I think Savannah Guthrie might be one of the few people that they can't really say was directly involved because she was physically in New York. So,
right.
But
it's so out there. It's such an outlier in terms of murders.
Yeah, it's a really weird one. Then I was thinking, I was talking to my son about this, and he brought up a good point. He's like, well, what if she was a really horrible person? And it's the whole time, this is, would you feel the same way about her?
Right.
Like if video was released of her getting pulled over and her yelling about do you know who I am? And this whole thing, would you feel differently about her? And I'm like, I think I would. And I'm like, it's really interesting. They really painted this interesting picture of Nancy Guthrie, of this saint. And I'm like, who knows? Maybe she was a horrible person, and this is some type of revenge tactic. I just don't know. I don't know anything about the woman.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my son, always looking at the dark side of things.
And there was no robbery at all, right?
As far as I know, the only thing that was taken was her watch. Like what she had on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a terrible thing. It's a terrible, terrible situation, but not so different than this because, except there's probably more evidence in the Nancy Guthrie case. We at least
Probably
have a photo. So, but having to do with this, let's see, in, what is it, 1999? No, in 2005, the family receives anonymous photos of a woman named Jas, like Jas.
Yes.
On some type of Caribbean adult escort site. And this is one of those things I roll my eyes at a little bit. Forensic analysis deemed that it's, quote, a perfect match by experts. But it's like, you look at the pictures and it's like, well, I don't think it's a perfect match. Like, what do you mean it's a perfect match? I think one of the photos shows no visible tattoos. The face looks very different. Just doesn't look like the same person, in my opinion.
Yeah. I can see that.
Let's see. So this woman named Judy Marr claims to have seen a distressed Amy in Barbados in a bathroom with men who appeared to be threatening. Let's see. In 2010, a jawbone washed up in Aruba, but it was not tested for Amy. There's no other information about that. It's just that a jawbone washed up in Aruba.
Yeah, maybe it was Natalie Holloway's.
It could have been probably a long list of people. It could have been. But it was only one.
It was.
Let's see. In July of 25, Netflix did release the 3-part docuseries. I recommend, if you just want to get through it, just watch the last part.
Okay. That's good advice.
It's just my opinion.
I'm so impatient.
I really am. And I am as well. So with the release of that, all of a sudden there's hundreds of new tips coming to the FBI and the family. Somebody announced Ethan Klein. I don't know who Ethan Klein is, but he announced $1 million reward for information that leads to either solving it or an arrest. I wonder how that works. Hey, you know what? $1 million.
That's, yeah.
Hey.
It would tempt you if you knew a little.
Yeah. And it would probably tempt you if you don't know anything. You just kind of make it up too.
Right.
Might be right.
See if they believe it.
Apparently there were 3 very, quote, very significant leads that emerged from it. Including a female bar server claiming to hear Senorita kidnapped on the ship the night of the disappearance. There were suspicious website hits and, I don't know, just people are also saying that it could be trafficking, but it remains unsolved. No body is found. She would be, about my age right now. She's 51.
Yeah. That's hard to believe because I don't think of that story as being that old, but we're really looking at like 50 years. Yeah.
Something happened. It's the silly thing to say. So one of our theories is correct because there's not too many theories it could have been. Either it was an accident or it was an intentional, kidnapping. So, or, then of course there's people are like, well, maybe she just bailed.
Oh, I don't believe that.
Yeah, me either. Although she was having some issues with her girlfriend at home.
But she has a lot going for her.
Yeah, she just graduated.
She had a new job lined up. She graduated. She was on a cruise.
Yeah. I don't know. It was time to get another tattoo, maybe. I don't know. It could have just been... There's like so many scenarios that it could have been. He could have been hooking up with the bassist and did some drug and OD'd. And he's like, I got to do something with the body. So yeah. I don't know. It's kind of all this kind of crazy stuff. The bassist actually volunteered to do a polygraph. He passed it. I don't really believe in polygraphs.
Right.
But, very often if you're like, well, I'm not taking one of those, you kind of thought of as guilty.
Yeah. It's interesting. You can't use them in court, but boy, you're guilty as hell if you fail it.
Yeah. And his daughter did come forward expressing doubts of his innocence, saying that she went to him directly and said, did you do something to that woman? It's kind of a shocking thing to have your own your own offspring accusing you of something that they have no evidence of one way or the other.
That's very true.
Just because she doesn't like him, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just, I wonder if we'll ever get any type of real outcome here. And I guess I ask the same thing in terms of the Nancy Guthrie case.
I don't think we will, unless some remains would turn up and, against all odds. I think the body, whether she fell or whether she was taken, I don't know, it could very well have gone in the ocean. And the ocean isn't going to speak her secrets. And it's too bad because I think it would be a good one to know what happened. Nancy Guthrie, I think we'll know. I do. I'm surprised it took so long. I thought it was going to be like 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, now it's over 2 months. Because
these were inept people.
I feel like they are. I feel as though that sheriff is super inept.
Mm-hmm. Well, and when you look at the people at the door in the masks and stuff, one's trying to cover the ring camera.
Oh, you're saying them. Yeah.
Them, yes.
Yeah, I mean, they don't seem like masterminds. Like, they're like...
And why would they hang on to her? It's just, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and she's like, we know that she was bleeding when they took her.
Yeah.
And
she had a heart problem.
And possibly coughing. Because, there's that blood spatter that is just, like that.
Yeah.
But, I don't really care about, like, newscasters or anything. Or I'm like, oh, I feel so close to Savannah Guthrie. Blah, blah. I just feel bad for her. She just seems broken. And
it's unresolved still, so she can't move on.
There's a great YouTube channel that covers this, and I'll put it in the show notes, and I'll send it to you if you wanted to look into it. But the person really kind of points out a lot of strange inconsistencies where they ruled the family out almost immediately. And I just think that's one of the weirdest things to do so quickly, because we have, let's see, Nancy went and took an Uber, right, to Savannah's sister's house.
Yes.
And they played some games. I'm not really sure. Some type of game.
Yeah, just a family night.
Yeah, like a Saturday night game night. And then Tommaso drove her home around 10. I don't understand the Uber one way, but not the other. That I don't understand.
Well, I think you might be comfortable, like, going in daylight, but you might be a little scared to hang out outside in the dark and wait.
It's true. I mean, and that's an excuse. There's your reason for why they may have done it. But so Tommaso brought her there, dropped her off, and then went home. But we don't know that, or at least the public doesn't know that. Did he go somewhere else? Did he do this? Did he do that?
I thought they saw him on camera.
I don't think Tommaso's been on camera.
Okay.
As far as I know. I haven't really looked into the case in like many, many weeks, which is just, shocking. The way that the sister is in general just feels to me to be kind of strange. Savannah looks like she's a wreck. The brother just looks like he's being like big brother material.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna break. But and there's also this footage that came out where Savannah goes home and they throw this big parade for Savannah. And this is all, of course, before Nancy Guthrie's abduction. And we're in this like local restaurant and the owner's coming over to say hi to Savannah. And just like, you have the sister there and she's like eating shrimp cocktail and everyone's just ignoring her. And I have to imagine that it's very difficult to live in the shadow of what might be your younger sister.
Right.
That, I mean, just can be tough. And I'm not saying she went and killed the woman for it.
Sure.
But the other thing is that, as somebody who has been around, like my parents when they were older, and like maybe siblings aren't around to help, it gets thrown on you. Savannah's just throwing money at it, and she's living in Manhattan, and you're living in like New Mexico, and you're expected to take care of mom. I don't know. There seems to be like a weird dynamic with all of that. And even now, Savannah's like kind of, she comes flying in right away, and then she leaves.
Right.
I don't know. I just feel as though they need to look deeper into the siblings.
Yeah. And she can do more for mom, and maybe, I could see being envious of her spending power to do things for their mother.
I feel like they should be pointing the finger at everyone and not saying, well, that person, definitely not.
Yeah.
Because it's so strange. And the whole thing with like the Nest camera or the Ring camera, whatever it is, not having the subscription is kind of strange, but I guess it's also one of those things where some people just don't even know that you needed a subscription, which is fair.
That's weird.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you have a millionaire daughter, $50 a year,
That's very weird.
But at the same time, I'm sure Savannah wakes up at 3 a.m. crying, saying like, why didn't I just spend the $50?
Right.
I should have insisted or something like that. So again, I don't put any blame. I don't put any blame on Savannah.
Mm-hmm.
But I just hope this doesn't turn into another Amy Lynn Bradley type of situation. Where
I hope so too.
But I think that in the kind of surveillance state that we are in now, if Nancy Guthrie were to appear somewhere, there would be some record of it.
Yes.
But we don't even have video of her leaving or anything. It's just so bananas.
Yeah. I just can't imagine what the motivation is. If it's not a family matter, I can't imagine the motivation because, if their intent was to harm her, they didn't harm her much, at least in the beginning, and then they didn't steal anything. But
they were in the house for 45 minutes.
Right.
What are you doing for 45 minutes?
I don't know.
And I'm wondering, I'm thinking that those ransom notes were fake, right?
Maybe.
What do you think?
I don't know. It just seemed so weird that kidnappers would be on camera in their masks, and I mean, who's that sloppy?
Yeah, I agree. It's like stupid. And then saying, "Oh, send me Bitcoin." It's like, well, Bitcoin isn't really anonymous. Mm-hmm. It's like it could be tracked.
Yeah, and maybe not grab her at the house if you want her. Grab her from someplace else, at a parking lot. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a crazy situation. I mean, for all intents and purposes, this was like a legitimate home invasion, except there was no motive. There was nothing. It was just gone. Terrible. If she was killed, I do genuinely hope that it was very quick and painless. And
I do too, and I hope they find out.
Yeah, I feel like we all are a part of this on some level. I'm pointing my finger at you.
At me, yeah.
Where were you that night?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Maybe I was at work.
Who are you, Tommaso? I don't know where I was.
I don't know how people know where they were at times. I never know.
Yeah, it's funny. If you were to say, where were you Wednesday? I'm like, what's today? Is today Wednesday?
Let's see. There wasn't a new Pit episode. There wasn't this. There wasn't that.
But with our phones, our phones are tracking us at all times. This data can be pulled. And and it does take a little bit of time to do these things, right?
Yeah.
Especially if, I would imagine that Tommaso and his and Savannah's sister, I'm not remembering her name, would have said, "Yeah, take my phone and go through it." Look at all the data, and that could be one way they ruled them out. That look, they were on the phone together, and it's clear he left the house and went there and came back. It would just really kind of stop with all the finger pointing if they were to release that information. But
I think you're right.
But I don't like the sheriff who's investigating. He seems to be really confused, and I wouldn't want him to investigate anything that I was involved in. Maybe I would. If I was the criminal, I would want him to investigate.
Maybe so. A lot of times when a sheriff appears for some reason, like it's such a stressful time for them and trying to put things together. And you look at them and think, God, this person doesn't have it together at all.
Right.
And I always wonder if it's really true. Like they might be perfectly fine, but they're just stressed. I don't know.
Well, he has like a whole history of screw ups. So,
that's not good.
Yeah, it's one of these things. I don't know. I'm still following it from a distance. Sadly, I think it's should just fade away.
Yes.
And hopefully her body appears one of these days. There was a local incident where I think it was like just a few days before Nancy Guthrie was abducted. This, I want to say 10 or 12-year-old, 15-year-old boy from Long Island, for whatever reason, they turned into a Roblox type of abduction, but it ended up not being. He met somebody online, they said, and then his phone pinged on the Brooklyn Bridge, and he vanished. Like, they have no idea what happened to him. And they were like, the whole story was that he met somebody on Roblox. They abducted him, threw the phone over, and the body wasn't found. And they just found his body like maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. And as it turns out, none of that stuff was true.
Do they know what is true?
That it does not appear to be anything but him jumping off the bridge.
Wow.
Somehow. I don't know how he got there, but autistic kid, kind of seems like a sweet looking kid.
Impulsive, maybe.
Yeah, maybe depressed. Maybe, like it happens. But it's just, it's shocking how an event can like really become this manufactured event. And
you're right.
And you know what? Maybe some of that stuff was true, and we wouldn't have learned about it unless if they had found the body right away. But we had such a cruel winter that I think that the winter really kind of the ice and the harsh snow and stuff like that, it prevented them from finding him.
That could be true, but it makes your heart hurt a little bit. I mean, if it's not somebody it's like, thinking of this young person, just in the snow, abandoned,
sad, alone, it's
in the bitter cold.
And like I have a 17-year-old. Like, God forbid, like he were to feel that way or something like that. He felt like he didn't have somewhere to turn.
Right.
And, when they're younger, they're even worse. In terms of like But yeah, people should know that there's always an alternative, and to hear a story like that is such a bummer. But this is a case where they did find a body. So
yes, at least they have that.
Yeah, at least they have that,
and they can bury their child.
Yep. Well, this is a complete bummer of an episode. We have no outcome. But
we have no outcome.
But people should go and check out the Netflix Amy Bradley's Missing 3-part series. If you have the time and the patience, sit through it. I bet you there's stuff I missed by skipping the first 2 hours.
That's okay.
But I know how this stuff is edited, same as you know.
We know.
They just recap everything over and over again until they drill it into your head.
Yes.
But
I kind of miss watching things on physical media because it was easier, and you can do this on YouTube today, but it used to be easy to put in a Blu-ray or something and then watch it at double speed. And I always enjoyed that because like you could leave the sound on and so you could still hear things. But now YouTube is the only streaming service I know that does that. But
yeah, I use Plex a lot.
I've been thinking about it. It's on my to-do list for tomorrow.
Well, let's have a conversation if you have any questions. I use Plex and something that's very similar but more open source. Called it's a stupid name though, Jellyfin. The word jelly and FIN.
Interesting.
And it's almost the same thing as Plex, but I think it actually is better in a lot of ways.
Okay.
So one of the things that I really enjoy also, aside from podcasts, is audiobooks. And so one of the things I also run in audio on my server, I run for TV shows and movies, music and audiobooks. And for the most part, Plex can handle them all, which is kind of interesting. And you could speed them up. You know, you can time shift them.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I've been doing Plex now for like at least 8 years and Jellyfin for maybe 2 or 3. So.
Well, I'll have to check them both out.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I definitely say start with Plex, get it all working, and then you're like, you know what? I want more.
I want more.
I want more.
Yeah.
But yeah, like if you get stuck or anything, you know my number.
Yeah.
And Suzanne, I want to thank you so much for leaving Walnut Grove to talk to me about the disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. Maybe one day we'll find it. I don't know.
Yeah.
In Little House World, we also have our own true crime thing happening with Tim Busfield. So we'll see.
That is interesting. Yes.
Yeah, and tomorrow morning, I don't keep up on this, but it seems like people send this stuff to me like ad nauseum whenever like any of the cast members have like some type of public appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Melissa Gilbert will be on, I think, ABC tomorrow to talk about it. And
that's odd.
I get a feeling that she's not going to reveal anything, one.
Right.
And two, she's going to probably mention how she had nothing to do with it, even though she had openly admitted that she had given these 2 boys gifts, you know. And
yeah, I can see her I can see doing that. But if it's only the 2 boys, were there other kids that didn't get gifts?
This was my biggest question, and I find no evidence that there was or wasn't. So I don't know. I don't think that they really had the kind of I just don't know. I don't, you know, that so yeah, like if she's like, well, look, yeah, they got gifts, but look at all these other brats that I bought gifts for. No one's getting gifts ever again. That's what I would say. But
it's a terrible situation to be in, I would think.
In that situation, there's a lot of crazy, crazy stuff. And yeah, there's more to come. I'll be covering that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
As well as the reboot of Little House on the Prairie.
Yes. Yes.
Coming this July 9th on Netflix.
We know now.
Yeah. But Suzanne, again, thank you so much. I do appreciate you taking the time out of your schedule to do this.
No problem. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Just stay on the line.
Tonight, we have been confronted with an entire catalog of unexplained and unsolved events. Tune in next time as Unsolved Mysteries Rewind discusses another collection of unsolved mysteries. Until then, we can only look and wonder.